Briefings were returning despite speaking with President Trump just last week. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
Right now, Congress and the White House are negotiating a new stimulus package. It could include another round of checks being mailed to Americans. Today, Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin held separate meetings with the congressional leaders on both sides. Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi are both in favor of direct payments to families. Major sticking points include extending unemployment payments, whether money should go to expand testing, and aid for states.
All right, now to the breaking news we first told you at 4. Genesee Avenue is closed in both directions for at least the next couple of hours because of that deadly crash you see. Police say the driver of a white SUV crossed into oncoming traffic on Genesee. This was near Marlesta Drive and crashed head on to that silver car. The SUV flipped over on its side. The driver of the silver car died at the scene after crashing into a third car. The driver and passenger of the SUV are in the hospital with major injuries.
It was so fast, it was so terrifying.
A family caught in the crosshairs of a deadly shootout sharing their terrifying ordeal. Yesterday, Chula Vista police shot and killed a man who was wanted for attempted murder, had just carjacked a driver, and then led police on a chase. ABC 10 News anchor Vanessa Van Hefty tells us why the family credits good police work.
We were in the crosshairs.
A deadly shootout in Mark Iturralde's yard.
I'm just so grateful the day after that we're all still here to talk about it.
Suspected shooter 33-year-old David Anhulo came face to face with the innocent family inside of this home. 5 children were terrified.
So my daughter stuck her head out and told me to go back, that those are guns we're hearing. And I think she saved my life right then.
The shooter reportedly crashed his stolen vehicle after smashing into an active duty military member, then a shootout with the cops.
So I had to shove them in, my wife and my granddaughter, into a closet and told them to be quiet and just stay low, don't come out just until I tell you.
Iturralde says his son-in-law locked the door to prevent the shooter from coming inside.
Probably a half a second thought to back up and close the door. He kept him out of the house.
The known gang member, wanted for at least 3 shootings just in the month of June, fired at the 3 officers who had him surrounded.
My grandson was in that window right there, laying in his bed. My daughter was behind that window. She went eye to eye with him, about a foot away.
The exchange of gunfire went on for several minutes before the shooter was allegedly shot and killed by police. Mark found 6 bullets in his backyard, but says good police training kept his family safe.
This is their worst nightmare, is to be open to or exposed to a gunman. This is a job that only the bravest want it.
In Chula Vista, Vanessa Van Hefty, ABC 10 News.
None of the 3 officers were hurt. The military member who was caught in the crosshairs was badly injured in that crash with the suspect. The San Diego County Crime Stoppers now need your help finding this man. He's seen in the video lighting a recycling dumpster on fire. This happened early in the morning Saturday at the Mona Lisa Italian restaurant on India Street. The fire quickly spread to the building and the delivery van that you see parked near that dumpster. It caused about $32,000 in damage. Now we're told the suspect has a large vertical tattoo along the right side of his rib cage. If you know anything, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers.
Racial injustice, implicit bias, and the fight for equity. They are real issues that exist within the workplace, but for many it can be tough to talk about. ABC 10 News is committed to conversations that create lasting change. And we show you how one group plans to hold companies to a higher standard for everyone to see.
And if America is to be a great nation,
America is better with and.
Guide her.
It's a saying at the heart of a new experiment called itsblackandwhite.us.
and so, my fellow Americans,
I just think America is better as an and. The ideas get better as an and. Our culture is better because of and.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Ryan Berman, along with Ahab Nimbri and several other marketing and advertising agency representatives, say they wanted to figure out how to start a constructive conversation about things like race, implicit bias, and equity.
For one, getting perspective and understanding on what maybe a bias that you have. It might be nice to know because you can't really do anything about it if you can't spot it.
So they came up with this online survey with just 10 questions that asks things like, do you believe hard work puts you on your path for a promotion? Do you have a close friend that is black?
We're not trying to nudge you one way or the other. We're just trying to say, hey, pick a side and then let's start talking and let's work this out.
At the end, you get to see how other people responded and access links to learn more, donate to civil rights organizations, even register to vote. The creators say the idea is to share what they learn and then take all that data and develop a sort of seal of approval for consumers to know how different companies stack up.
Launching almost a diversity and inclusion certification for organizations. And it's not about like calling out your companies. It's about, let's put a solution in place that allows the next generation to do what they want to do with their jobs.
And to the republic for which it stands.
The survey is open to anyone, and itsblackandwhite.us is hoping to get as many people involved as possible.
We just want everyone to be part of this experiment. It's all about continuing the conversation.
Lindsay Pena, ABC 10 News. And if you'd like to take that survey, we have a link on our website, 10news.com. Well, it just got a little bit easier to afford a home in San Diego. The new option just approved by the City Council. That will be the sound playing during fanless baseball games during the pandemic, the role a local company is playing to bring crowd noise to stadiums across the country. And a local nail artist taking matters into her own hands when the pandemic put her business plans on hold.
I figured it was a great opportunity for people to still have beautiful nails.
The unique way she's making ends meet. ABC 10 News is back in 90 seconds.
All right, take a listen to the newest sounds at the ballpark as Major League Baseball prepares to start its season with those empty stadiums. As our ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen tells us, a local company was charged with the task of creating the ambiance from a video game.
At the Padres exhibition game Monday in front of empty stands, the distinct buzz of a crowd, an ambiance compiled
just to try to create the most authentic experience that we can during this interesting time.
by San Diego Studio, branch of Sony Interactive Entertainment.
He's set to lead off the home half of the second.
The creator of Major League Baseball's official video game were tasked with filling up the silence of the empty ballparks by calling on a large collection of real sounds. Brand strategist Ramon Russell.
And we've been going to stadiums for over the last 10 years, so we have a giant catalog of audio.
A catalog containing reactions to just about any kind of play, from an infield grounder
Throw to first in plenty of time, and the side is retired.
to a home run blast.
Driven to right field and deep. And that one is gone!
Each reaction digitally remastered for the stadium setting. League officials hoping those sounds will make players feel more comfortable.
Baseball players aren't used to playing in completely empty stadiums, and that would be a little weird. So we're just trying to do what we can to provide a little normalcy.
Stadium sound engineers for each home team will have access to 75 different effects and reactions.
So every single Major League Baseball team will be able to watch the game in real time and slide those events and those reactions up and down so it sounds authentic.
A weaving together of noise, in one sense giving the fans a voice in a fanless ballpark. Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
I think I heard you, Lindsay,
Yeah,
in the background.
I'm always there.
Yeah. Baseball is hoping the crowd noise along with walk-up music, the stadium announcers, and video will replicate the in-game experience as much as possible. Many of the teams, including the Padres, will also have cardboard cutouts of fans in some parts of the stadium.
This 10 News Pinpoint Weather Report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air. Nobody wows clients like we do.
I hope Angelica was listening to that last story because I would love to be a cardboard cutout. Would you?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we would make great, great pieces of, I don't know. Anyways, I think that'd be exciting. As we take you outside, little things that make us happy. MPB looking at some clouds today. A different day than last week, a different day than yesterday for sure. We've seen the clouds lingering a little bit longer. The air is much more comfortable. So this cool down coming in to just really make one of the best weeks of the month of July across the county. As we look now, you can see a lot of people out there, but there's plenty of space in between those little groups of people, so it seems like everybody's being extra cautious. So good job, guys, for doing that. 71 degrees in San Diego, looking from Coronado towards downtown. Blue skies over our city with the winds out of the west and northwest at 8 miles per hour. A comfortable week with this cool down in place. Patchy fog and clouds will persist, and they will be traveling farther east, and they will take longer to clear for the next 2 days. So that includes Wednesday and Thursday. A gradual warm up will start on Friday, and I have it here through the weekend, but it's going to continue into next week. So enjoy this week, and remember, the next week is going to be warmer. We'll see more sunshine, and you're probably going to be thinking about this week next week. Temperatures averaging very close to what we had across the county yesterday. No change in Carlsbad, 70 degrees, 83 in Ramona, 79 Mount Laguna, 74 Imperial Beach. Over the deserts, 109 in Borrego Springs. There it is, clouds east of the 15 until 8 a.m., clearing nicely, but expecting clouds near the coast until at least 11 a.m. There's a trough. It's actually well to our north, but there's a piece of energy moving through the Bay Area, which will enhance the cool down, the marine layer, and of course the winds. They will be targeting mountains and deserts. Over the next 7 days, 72 degrees at the coast for tomorrow. Over the weekend, mid-70s with low clouds, clearing to sunny skies. Inland communities, low 80s Wednesday, Thursday, warming up to 84, 86 Saturday, Sunday. And just as we kind of take a close look at next week, look at that. Big difference, 5-degree difference, Monday and Tuesday, 87 degrees versus tomorrow, a comfortable sunny day with 82 degrees. In our mountains, 81, plenty of sunshine, gusty winds though. They will be gusting between 15 to up to 30 miles per hour, targeting our mountains and deserts. And they will continue through the coolest days, which will be Wednesday and Thursday before the next warm-up heads our way. Back to the studio.
All right, thanks, Angelica.
Walmart says it is giving another round of bonuses to its frontline workers and giving everyone Thanksgiving off for this year. The company says that full-time hourly employees will receive a $300 bonus next month. Part-time and temporary workers will get $150. Walmart also announced it will close all stores on Thanksgiving Day and November the 26th. The usual move will give workers some time off with their loved ones on a day that usually marks the beginning of the holiday shopping season.
A couple under house arrest after testing positive for COVID-19 and refusing to sign self-quarantine papers.
I can't put my life on pause because you're scared.
Why they continue to stand by their decision.
Because I can't put my life on pause because you're scared.
A Kentucky couple is defending their actions. They refused to sign an isolation order after one of them tested positive for coronavirus. Now they're under house arrest, complete with ankle monitors. ABC's Trevor Ault reports the couple planned to quarantine, but wanted to be able to leave the house if they choose.
A Kentucky family says their COVID-19 quarantine feels more like a prison sentence.
You don't get an ankle monitor unless you're convicted of a crime or you're waiting trial or you're going on trial for something. We never even got any of that.
Elizabeth Lynn Scott says when she tested positive for the virus earlier this month, the Lincoln Trail District Health Department asked her to sign these documents, saying she, her husband, and her daughter would isolate at home for 14 days, updating the health department on their symptoms every day and contacting medical officials beforehand if they had to go to the hospital.
I said, I have no problem self-quarantining. I said, but if I have to leave my house to get a necessity for an emergency, I'm going to do that without your prior consent.
Lynn Scott declined the agreement, writing in part, "It's my right and freedoms to go where I please and not have to answer to anyone for it." She said she'd do her best to stay home and avoid the elderly, but added, "There is no pandemic." The health director, citing the threat of the virus, then requested a judge order the family to quarantine, informing the family they'd been ordered to wear location tracking ankle monitors, ensuring they stay home.
Like, we're not wearing those ankle monitors, dude. Like, we didn't do nothing wrong.
The Hardin County Sheriff's Office confirms deputies were on hand to inform the family of the judge's order, but distanced themselves from the decision, saying in a statement, "We have no open cases, nor have we had any cases involving the enforcement of a failure to isolate for positive COVID-19 testing." The Lynn Scott family says they're now receiving messages criticizing them for not complying, but they stand by their decision.
If you're so scared, please just you stay home. Because I can't put my life on pause because you're scared.
That was Trevor Alt reporting. Lynn Scott says she is being attacked on social media. She says she feels that they're being treated harshly because they are supporters of President Trump.
Families across San Diego County are preparing to start off the school year with distance learning.
It's the only way of learning that we have to deal with now.
Coming up, what local school districts are doing to make sure every student has access to the equipment they need to stay engaged. It just got a little easier to afford a home in San Diego. The new option just approved by the City Council.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
After 3 months, President Trump is resuming briefings on the coronavirus. ABC's Karen Travers reveals why the president stopped them before and the politics behind starting them up again.
President Trump is pulling out an old playbook, announcing he's bringing back his once daily coronavirus press briefings.
Well, we had very successful briefings. I was doing them, and we had a lot of people watching, record numbers watching, in the history of cable television.
Sources told ABC at the time that RNC and campaign officials showed the president internal polling that had him trailing Joe Biden in key battleground states, an attempt to dissuade him from holding daily press briefings. But it was the backlash to something the president himself said that prompted the abrupt end to the briefings. In late April, the president speculating that injecting disinfectants may kill the coronavirus, a potentially lethal theory.
I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
Facing fierce criticism, the president declared on Twitter that the briefings may be, quote, not worth the time and effort. Mr. Trump in recent weeks focusing less on the virus and more on the economy and culture issues. But now advisors are telling him if the public doesn't see him taking the coronavirus pandemic more seriously and doing a better job, he's likely to lose in November. Today, the Biden campaign announcing it will spend $15 million over the next week on TV, radio, and digital ads in 6 key battleground states, all states President Trump won in 2016.
We need a president who will level with the American people. The president will tell us the unvarnished truth.
The Biden campaign says it will run ads during Major League Baseball's opening games later this week. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Federal student loan borrowers are struggling right now, even with payments on hold. A survey by Student Loan Hero shows nearly half of borrowers have lost income during the pandemic. The nonprofit Student Defense says now is the time to be your own best advocate if your financial situation has changed.
Many people will be eligible for what's called income-based repayment, which is a repayment plan where your payment varies based on your income. And if your income drops below a certain level, your payment will drop to zero. That can be a really good option for a lot of people, but it's something that takes time to get started. So don't wait until October 1st.
The group recommends signing up for forbearance instead of income-based repayment. The latter will only create more interest. The pause on payments lifts at the end of September. The Education Department is expected to start communicating with borrowers next month about their loan payments restarting. Well, most students in San Diego are beginning the new school year taking part in some form of distance learning. Today, 10 News anchor Ben Higgins continued our Ask the Experts Facebook Live series by talking to an online education veteran who had tips for parents, students, and teachers.
The classrooms may be empty, but that doesn't mean education stops. It's just going to take a different shape. Online education, also known as distance learning.
There are many studies that have said that it's a stronger way of learning. Some say it's a less credible way of learning, but it's the only way of learning that we have to deal with now.
Dr. Joseph Lathan is the director of online programs at USD, and he doesn't just talk the talk of distance learning. He's walked the walk, obtaining his bachelor's, master's, and PhD degrees all online. He joined me on Facebook Live and says that everyone involved in the process, teachers, parents, and students, won't instantly become experts.
It's okay to learn along the way.
The good news is the distance learning has come a long way since correspondence courses. Platforms like Zoom are now invaluable.
Really changed the game and made it a more intimate setting for online education.
Access to technology is important, but it's not the only thing. Parents should make sure teachers are getting support from their schools, districts, communities, everyone.
This needs to start happening now. if you don't have like a what we would call a student success team or support team or people other than the teacher to help keep the students engaged, it can be a lot of work on the teacher.
Ultimately, Lathan thinks the pandemic will leave a lasting impact on learning.
This is going to teach us as a people how to do better at providing education, period, whether it's online or in the classroom.
I'm Ben Higgins, ABC 10 News.
We know many of you have questions about how to navigate the upcoming school year with your children at home. Tomorrow, we'll be joined by 2 experts in homeschooling who can address your concerns about a remote school environment. You can join us at 9:30 a.m. for the conversation on the ABC 10 News Facebook page or send your questions to tips@10news.com.
People living near the coast in the North County say they can't step outside without getting attacked by mosquitoes. County crews say that they have isolated the source. But as our ABC 10's Rachel Bianco shows us, the pesky insects have had plenty of time to breed.
The trails near San Elijo Lagoon are a popular hiking spot, but lately they're attracting more than visitors.
I didn't see any, but I definitely have bites.
It didn't take long for mosquitoes to find Lauren Burke's ankles.
It's so sunny and hot right now. I think I've got about 2 here and 1 here.
Tony Gallardo is the owner of Mosquito Joe. He says he can barely keep up with all the calls.
The last few weeks have been very busy. Basically from the coastline all the way to Poway. The mosquito problem is pretty significant right now.
Significant in the Solana Beach area due to the recent high tides bringing more water to the lagoon. County vector control crews sprayed the area last week. That's when they discovered a new breeding spot.
It's going to be kind of a one-time event where you get these salt marsh mosquitoes come off, and they'll probably annoy the people in the area for a handful of days, and then eventually they'll dissipate and hopefully things will go back to normal.
Chris Conlon says there's another mosquito, though, that is not a one-time event and is more widespread across the county.
The invasive species, the Aedes aegypti or yellow fever mosquito is the common name for it. That one is going to be around much of the summer.
Unlike the mosquitoes coming from the lagoon, the invasive mosquito can transmit disease. Conlon says these mosquitoes are attracted to standing water in backyards. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
And county vector officials also say that checking pots or children's buckets or even the smallest amount of water will help prevent mosquitoes.